changes from the side that put Benfica to the sword. Alexis Sanchez, or just Alexis as he prefers to be called. Monaco have determined that Falcao is able to play from the outset. The Colombian striker suffered a knee injury back on the 22nd of January that ended his season and ultimately put him out of the extravaganza in Brazil. Watch out for 19-year-old Timur Bakayoko, who has just joined from Rennes. Michael, let's talk tactics, shall we?
Yeah, cheers, Derek. Good afternoon, everyone. After an impressive display by what many would consider the second string yesterday, responsibility falls onto Arsenal's A team to steer them to Emirates Cup victory. It's this team in Arsene Wenger's tried and trusted system that you'd think the majority will start in next week's Community Shield with Manchester City. 3 of Wenger's summer signings are straight into the action, and Olivier Giroud will be keen to get his campaign off to a good start, with Sanogo hitting the headlines yesterday. For Monaco, all eyes will be on Radamel Falcao, out for 7 months with a cruciate knee ligament injury. One of the world's leading marksmen makes his return to the starting lineup this afternoon.
League 2 champions a couple of seasons ago. Pereira, Carrasco, a decent idea, and Chambers had to cover up.
He certainly did. He didn't really know what was behind him, so he had to play it safe and knock it out for a corner, as you see.
Certainly it's been the working assumption of a few of us that he's going to be on his way. Get Michael's thoughts on that in just a second. Pereira, Carrasco, all trying to make sure that Chesney was concentrating to the maximum.
That's one of those crosses, isn't it, that goalkeepers just hate, and sometimes they float into the far top corner, and really it's not the goalkeeper's fault. Chesney must have been backpedaling with a little bit of from one side to the other. Great pace, precision, just the final ball that was lacking.
Martinho. Dirar making his way forward again. There's Falcao. Always going that little bit wide. Before to take your eyes off.
Yeah, great sign though, isn't it? The jump and the power in the air. No, he's certainly not as tall as Chambers, but he's up early.
And to see just how fit he is. Well, for what it's worth, Leonardo Jardim, the Monaco boss, said yesterday after the game, these were his words: "We can count." Derek.
Yeah, let's just watch as Giroud topples over, so nothing untoward happens from the Monaco point of view.
Yeah, it was a nice little threaded ball, wasn't it, from Ramsey. Giroud just quite hasn't got the pace, has he? It's not really his game.
Here again is Kondogbia. Back to the deeper lying Bakayoko. Kondogbia did brilliantly. Falcao and Debuchy barring the way to goal.
We see before Debuchy just getting his body across Falcao. You have seen those given. Free kick on the edge of the box. I think he makes a meal of it, doesn't he?
Alexis. Offside. Giroud. Element of mistiming.
Look at this for a ball. Hardly even looked. Fantastic little ball inside.
We'll be back here at the Emirates for Arsenal against Manchester City. Mouth-watering clash potentially on the 13th of September. Dirar for Monaco right across the face of goal. Ocampos keeping it alive. And Martinho arriving on the scene.
Yeah, it was a dangerous cross, wasn't it? Dirar. Look at that, whipped across in that perfect space between defence and goalkeeper. They just couldn't quite retrieve it, but that's a wicked ball.
Nabil Dirar. Falcao trying to react. Arsenal had the resources marshalled. Oh, it was just a little bit too high off the boot of Yannick Ferreira Carrasco.
Took the ball, he was looking to cross it, but there was no one in the box, and Arsenal had cleared the lines quite well. Got back up to the 18-yard box, so a shot was the only option, and he did hit it.
Santi Cazorla to deliver for Arsenal. Well, it was quite the thump. When all was said and done, Chambers.
Yeah, I think when you're defending a outswinging corner like that, Monaco have just got to give themselves another couple of yards, push out a couple of yards, because it's only going to swing.
29-year-old Croatian goalkeeper who kept Sergio Romero on the sidelines last season. Romero, who ended up Argentina's first choice keeper at the World Cup. Well, that was inventive. It was a decent hit too by Yannick.
Yeah, that's the area.
And it's all going to be very intriguing. Monreal making the connection with Giroud. The flag's gone up. Jack Wilshere on the tail end of that.
Yeah, I think for starters, Giroud's got to be a little bit more careful with his runs. It looked as if he was quite close there, didn't it? Almost level. But that's exactly how Arsenal should be playing, with a big man like that.
Joao Moutinho, there's Falcao, that's what he does! Radamel Falcao, back in the starting lineup, and back on the score sheet. But from the Arsenal point of view, the Colombian finisher wasn't picked up.
Well, in the dressing room before the game, your manager always gives you players to mark on set pieces. And I don't care how tall players are players like this. Not one single player marking Falcao, the most dangerous striker on the pitch. Well, he can score those in his sleep, can't he? Lovely finish, lovely ball from Moutinho. But I don't know what Arsene Wenger has told his man and who he's told them to mark.
Campos for Monaco. Moutinho. Dirar. Monreal thought about coming to meet him. Moutinho. Oh, and Falcao lurking again. It was Campos trying to nod the ball into his path.
It's a good little run, that. Falcao would have been offside, wouldn't he? But nice little run across the front onto the left. I'm also surprised to see Falcao playing more than half a game, but
it was beautifully done by Alexis Ramsey up there beside him. Arsenal fans so want Alexis to succeed. Here's Cazorla poking it through. Oh, it was a lash by Wilshere. Top-notch goalkeeping from Subasic. Ball didn't arrive at his feet. This was earlier.
Yeah, it was that ball just at the start of that clip from Alexis that was just brilliant. He absolutely pinged it into Cazorla. He only had a little eye of a needle to thread it through. A little bit of luck.
Came off of Campos. Up goes Miguel. Oh, and Subasic. Second time of asking.
Nah, that frustrates me, though. Really does. The ball, it's a poor ball, and then it gets flicked up in the air to realise that that ball is going to be won by your big centre-half.
Oxlade-Chamberlain coming to the fore again. Wilshere, Cazorla in the vicinity, trying to force a mistake from Dirar. Oh, it's gone wide after all that, off the boot of Alexis.
Why they have to put pressure on Dirar. He's not a defender. I mean, he does well to cover there, but a touch, he's not aware of what's around him. He was on target, but he needed to wrap it in. He was waiting for the ball. Ended up getting it taken off him. He needs a real pace on that pass to give him as much time as possible.
Ramsey with this weighted pass. Well, the idea was to spring Akpom on Radji and the other Monaco defenders.
Yeah, I think this is a good decision from Martin Atkinson. You can just see it comes off the Arsenal striker. Goal kick, right decision.
Guided Sporting to second place on the top flight in Portugal last season. Ramsey and Zelalem. Away goes Akpom, the burst here. Subasic committing himself. Martin Atkinson says penalty. Well, Daniel Subasic didn't think so. Hang on, was it inside the box?
In the Monaco goal, and I mean, first of all, it's a fantastic little flick ball, instinctive, and as you see, Etienne Gillet at left back is playing him on, and no question about it. No question about it. He's inside the box. It's a certain penalty.
Yes, if it was a foul, it was a penalty. And a free kick to Arsenal, which Aaron Ramsey is about to take. Trying to squeeze it through.
He's going to lose too much sleep over it, but it really is a pivotal decision, that.
Well, it looms large in the story of this game, and by extension in the story of the Emirates Cup for 2014. Mikel, straight down the throat of Subasic. Still not nearly as polished as they were yesterday. It's a defeat for the Gunners. Victory for Monaco. The French rise up from last season thanks to a goal from a fit again, Radamel Falcao. Poor defending by Arsenal, thinking back to that set piece. I'm sure Arsene Wenger will acknowledge that later. But he's learned a lot about his team. Probably more yesterday in victory than today in defeat. This final game here at the Emirates Cup has ended Arsenal 0, Monaco 1, and so Valencia are the tournament victors.